Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the circus. My name is Nareve, and today I'm going to show you guys the way that I solo the chess event in Karazan. But before I get into that, I wanted to show off possibly the greatest transmog ever. So in case you haven't noticed, I am playing a hunter. My hunter that I had a long time ago to prove how much of a douche I was. His name is literally Bad to the Bro. And his transmog matches that awful name. I have no idea what's going on here. But hey, I digress. Moving on. So I'm going to show you how to solo the chess event within Karazan. I have a lot of friends that are still really apprehensive to try this, just because unlike the gunship in Icecrown Citadel, this is not gear dependent or reliant. Your gear has no effect on this, which means that it is skill based. So what does that mean? Well, you actually have to do this properly, and unfortunately, because it's chess, there's really no way to effectively predict the outcome of what the enemy team is going to do, which gives this an extra level of difficulty for soloing. However, if you know what you're doing, you can still do it. Before we get too far into the details on how to do this, I want to bring up two things. One, Nareve is a cheating little shit that will cheat. And what he does when he cheats is he will either do one of two things: light the ground on fire. So you have to be aware of that, because it will light the ground on fire underneath Blackhand, which is your king. I should say it'll light the ground under either king on fire, because it depends on which side you're playing. And the other thing that he'll do is he will buff multiple of his people. They'll get big and purple and deal increased damage and heal harder, and they're just big old stinky dinkers. The second thing you need to be cognizant of is that there is a 10-second debuff after leaving each unit. So if you get in a unit and you move it and you leave it, you have 10 seconds before you can enter another unit. So those are things that you need to be aware of. In order to start this, you're going to talk to your respective king. For me, that's Blackhand. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to talk to him. Immediately, I'm going to Bloodlust and leave. So that was number 4, and then the equals sign to leave for me. That means by the time I get back over to the unit that I want to move, my debuff will be gone. You take control of the grunt in front of the wolf or the horse, depending on which side you are, and you leave immediately. I'm going to do the same thing on this grunt over here, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm opening up a path for the demon to move. So I'm going to move again immediately and leave. You want to do this before the enemy team has a chance to get over to your side, because that just makes it incredibly difficult. So you're going to pull the demons into the adjacent spot that you just moved the old grunts from, and again you're going to leave. This is time dependent, so you have to be quick with your movements, because King Lane is a cheating little shit. Or I should say, Nareve is a cheating little shit. You want to move the grunt in front of your king forward, because again, when he cheats, which is inevitable, it's going to light the ground underneath Blackhand on fire, and then if you just let him sit in it, he'll die really, really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and move this last demon forward and exit. Now these demons do a pretty decent AoE, which is why I wanted to move them to that spot, because it'll cover most of the spots that you need it to cover. Once this cooldown happens, I'm going to jump back into Blackhand and await Nareve's cheating, because it usually happens by this point. I usually only have a few seconds, up to 20 before he goes. Now notice he just said something. That means he's gonna go ahead and cheat soon. And usually the first cheat he does, again, is lighting the ground on fire. Here he goes. There's the ground on fire. Move immediately and exit. I don't want to be playing Blackhand. That makes my life incredibly difficult. What you want to be playing as often as you can is this Warlock, because he does some insane damage. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move. I want to be within range of King Lane, so I'm going to move to this spot, and I'm going to immediately start bombarding him with everything I have. I'm going to as well go ahead and throw the poison on the cleric next to him. Notice there's a cleric behind him. You want to start damaging them because they have a heal that they can place on King Lane so long as they are within a straight line of him. And that becomes a big hazard later on down the road. Keep an eye on your Warlock's health because inevitably the Warlock will die. It's unfortunate, it's frustrating, but it's true. There's really nothing you can do to prevent that. So you're just going to bombard as much as you can, throwing out as much damage on King Lane. And again, poisoning the Cleric whenever you can. This is perfect. He moved away from the Cleric and away from his people, which allows me to fully bombard him with everything I have. I would actually... I'm even going to move back one just because I don't want that Grunt to be hitting me or that Cleric. Because again, the Clerics are just like castles. They have to go in a straight line in front of them. I did die. Like I said, super expected. Then I'm going to hop back in Black Hand in 1 second. 10-second cooldowns are the worst. Now that I'm back in Black Hand, you got to make sure you're facing the right way. I'm going to buff the people around me, and I'm just going to go ahead and start beating down King Lane. Here's what I was talking about with him cheating. Notice the Queen and the Footman and the other guy are all now super buffed. But realistically, like I said, it shouldn't matter too terribly much at this point, right? Because I should be able to pretty effectively just finish off King Lane. Taking a lot of damage, shockingly. Wow, usually don't take this much. I'm already being beaten down pretty hard by the man. But hey, they're all focusing on that Grunt. King Lane is at 34. I'm at 30, but it's not a big deal. I'll probably nuke him down quick enough. So long as that Cleric right there doesn't heal King Lane, this shouldn't be an issue. I should be able to just finish him up. King Lane's at 19. I'm at 26, right? As you can tell, he's not long for this world, especially since that Cleric just broke line of sight with him. Kind of puts him in a damaging spot because now that Cleric can't heal him. And with 4k left, I will say this is pretty much over. That's the most effective way that I've found to solo chess event. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. It does help. If you want to see more tutorial videos, I've been producing them quite a bit lately with just little things that I've picked up over the years of playing this game. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.